Jake Fisher came out on the sideline and talked about this when it came to Jonathan Kuminga and the Bulls' interest in Kuminga, saying this, that the most likely outcome for Kuminga is that he remains in Golden State and is set to become a restricted free agent. He would also go on to say that that the Bulls have had interest in Jonathan Kuminga over the past 2 years and have had trade discussions on him. Now, here's the thing of this, hearing this actually made me feel like it's less likely to happen. And here's why. I know people are going to say, well, Hayes, if they had trade talks for 2 years, why do you feel it's less likely to happen now? This is why. The Bulls, if they would have had discussions for 2 years, right, that means that the Golden State Warriors have been in win-now mode for those 2 years, right? Which means that either they are more so valuing getting veterans back, or they're looking at, all right, bet by the end of this run with Steph, Dre, now Jimmy Butler, which they didn't have before, we want to have a stash of draft picks so we can start recouping this thing, right? Keep in mind, the Chicago Bulls, before they made the Zach LaVine trade, they couldn't move their either 2025 or 2026 picks because they didn't know which one would convey to the San Antonio Spurs, right? And so that means that the Bulls were already at most offering picks out to 2028 because they couldn't offer 2027 either because you didn't know when the protections lie. So that means the Bulls were probably offering the 2028 pick, which they already would have had, right? So the picks that they could offer the Golden State Warriors are picks that would have already been there. The Bulls had better win now pieces, right? When you're talking about a team in the Warriors that want to win now, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Alex Caruso, Andre Drummond. Those are players that the Bulls had over the last 2 years that the Bulls could have included that are more win now pieces for the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors weren't interested in that, right? Nikola Vucevic is still here and could definitely still be looked at as a win now piece. But again, he's been here. So we'll see what happens with that. We've also talked about how a Jonathan Kuminga and Nikola Vucevic sign and trade is a little bit difficult to kind of maneuver in there, right? But it's possible. So let me say that it's possible, but it's a little bit more difficult to maneuver. So unless all of a sudden the Golden State Warriors are more prioritizing the Bulls' future picks, or unless it is like a Kobe White involved in it, which I don't necessarily see the Bulls doing, but hey, maybe I could be wrong on that. But hearing that the Bulls have been technically swirling around Jonathan Kuminga for 2 years and haven't been able to get it done, looking at what the Warriors would typically want right now based off this 2-year window they have with Jimmy, Dre, and Steph, I don't necessarily see this deal happening. But again, that's not to crap on it. Maybe they've been talking for so long that eventually they just do it. So we'll see what happens there. But as long as with that as well, another candidate that's been brought up as well is Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Now, this got brought back up here recently by Jake Fisher.